Good Saturday morning, fastball fans, and welcome to Lions Park here in Simcoe, Ontario. Blair Setford with you on Softball Premier TV as we zoom in. We're in Simcoe, Ontario. It's the 2026 Hill United Chiefs Challenge. It's a gorgeous morning, 17 degrees, a little gust of wind, I don't know about 23, but it is a lovely, lovely morning for fast pitch. And here's the offensive lineup for the Hill United Chiefs. Shane Boland will lead things off for the Chiefs. Got things going in a big way yesterday. Brad Esical, Quentin Bruce, Bruno Matroni, Hunter, Lopez, Pecker, White into center field today. And Luna, Marco Diaz, the pitcher for the Hill United Chiefs. And then defensively for JDT First Energy, left to right across the outfield, Zaleo Muñez, Jonathan Lynch, and Fetty Eater. And then around the horn, Justin Laskowski, Guadalupe Ion, Braden Descharmes, Jeff Lyons at first, and Giancarlos Gonzalez will be pitching to Fernando Gomez for JDT. These two teams met in semifinal action last week in Mitchell, Ontario. JDT roared out to a 6-0 lead. The Chiefs chipped away. They got a 3-run home run from Tony Gonzalez to get close. Uchi Biondi, a double, tied the score. And then in the bottom of the 7th, Lenny Diavazo, 2-run home run, and the Chiefs come all the way back with 8 unanswered runs, and they would advance to the championship game where they would prevail in extra innings over the Bear Creek Gremlins. So a week later, we get a rematch between these two squads. And I know the preseason rankings are out. JDT, I think, in at number 5. But honestly, if I was putting them together right now, they would be in my personal top 3. This is going to be a great one here first thing this morning. First pitch, Shane Boland. And a one-hopper to Giancarlos Gonzalez, and he'll toss to first. And we're underway here at 9:12. A couple of minutes early, and some exciting action here at the Chiefs Challenge. We've got 2 other games. We've got a full slate of games here on Field 2 on Softball Premier. Get yourself comfy and stay with us all day, and we'll keep you up to date on all the action here at the Chiefs Challenge. Right now in the other 9 o'clock cycle games, Oswego Redmond taking on the Saskatoon Jacks. The Northeast Drillers will face the Midland Explorers. Brad Esical to the plate. Bradley off to a great start as always. Scuffled a little bit last week in the Canada East qualifier in Mitchell, but then came through with that big 3-run home run, top of the 8th inning. 0-2 pitch from Jack Besgrove, and deposited it straight over the center field fence. Brad Esical coming through in the clutch, as he often does. You go back the last decade and a half in ISC World.
Batting the left fielder, Quentin Bruce.
Slash foul into the screen by Bruce. Chiefs in their grays this morning. Gray tops, gray pants with some white trim with the lettering. JDT, the traditional navy blue. They've got some white tops as well. And called strike three. Bruce headed off the field before the call even came from home plate umpire Mike Morrissey. He knew that he'd been had on that outside corner. So we'll go to the home half. Nothing across for Hill United in the top. JDT coming to the plate in the bottom. And we're back here for the bottom of the first inning between the Hill United Chiefs and the home team, the JDT First Energy squad from Chippewa on the Thames, Ontario. There's the batting order for JDT. Leading off, it'll be Gendry Torres, the DP in today's game. Betty Eater, Leo Munoz, Jeff Lyons in the cleanup spot. Guadalupe Ion, then Justin Laskowski, Jonathan Lynch, Braden Ducharme, Fernando Gomez. That's in the 9 spot for JDT. Defensively, for the Chiefs, left to right, Quentin Bruce, Nick White, Alan Pecker, and then around the horn, Blake Hunter, Shane Boland, Khalil Luna at second base. He'll likely be there all weekend, as not in uniform is Lenny Villalbazo, injured last week. Edgar Pipolo Lopez at first, and it's Marco Diaz, the dominating Marco Diaz, on the board for the Chiefs. Bruno Matroni is behind the plate. Bruno had a big ice pack on the arm at the end of last weekend. Did not play in the championship game, but he is in fine form and all set, ready to go for the Chiefs here this weekend. It's good to see him back. Marco Diaz this year, 48 and a third innings pitched. He's appeared in 12 games, started 7 of them, as Jeff Ellsworth and the crew are mostly pitching by committee. The starter tends to go 4, sometimes 5 innings if the games go that long. And then you'll see somebody come on in relief. Diaz is 6-2. 86 strikeouts in those 48 innings and an ERA of 1.01. He is tough, ringing up the strikeouts. And it's interesting with Marco this year, primarily drop change, but he's really been working on the rise ball. And when it's on, you'll see him go to that pitch quite a bit. And that's become a strikeout favorite for Marco Diaz here this year. quick look back at the board. I don't know whether he lost his footing coming off, but that one well outside to Gendry Torres leading off for JDT. Goes up and fouls this one into the plate. Gendry was hitless last weekend, but 2 weeks ago at the Bear Creek Classic looked good. JDT into the championship game in that one before it was rained out. They were trailing 1-0 to the Bear Creek Gremlins. That's going to get out of play down the left side. This is week 3 in a 4-week run of absolutely fantastic tournaments here in Ontario. Top 6 teams in action 4 straight weeks facing off against each other. Nobody has come out of this unscathed. The Chiefs, well, yeah, they won in Mitchell, but the week before they didn't make the playoffs at the Bear Creek Classic. The Gremlins made the championship game in 2 of them. We'll have to see what happens here and then next week in Kitchener. And then we get into July. There'll be a week off, the second weekend in July, and then you're into Tavistock. There's a tournament down in Ashland, Ohio. Most of the teams in the top 6 will make their way down to Ashland, not all of them. Then there's the USA Softball Men's Major Championship, and into the Granddaddy, the ISC World Tournament in Melbourne, Ontario. The Bear Creek JDT First Energy Veterans Memorial Fields, and that one to the screen just misses our home plate camera. ISC World Tournament, August 8th to 15th, and that one upstairs, ball 4 to Gendry Torres. So a leadoff walk for Torres. That'll bring up Fetty Eater. I think it's fair to say the veteran now from Argentina. And want to say good morning down in Argentina to Fabian Eater. I know you're watching. You always are. Slap attempt. This one's way up in the air, but it's going to fall back in the fence. Motroni didn't pick it up right away, and that one falls just in front of the screen. Tough play when it goes straight up. We've got a high sky. A couple of clouds up there right now. The sun is off to our right. We're right behind home plate, directly behind Fetty Eater in that left side batter's box. A bit of a break here for Eater as that slap attempt, catchable ball. Fetty batted .333 last weekend, 4 for 12. If you follow Fabian Eater on Facebook, you'll see some fabulous photos that he takes at all the tournaments in the Argentina season, which is opposite the North American season. They're going to ask, did he go around? And no, says our third base umpire, Justin Van Horn. Mike Morrissey is behind the dish from Peterborough, Ontario. Dennis Roth is out at first base, and we want to say happy anniversary to Dennis Roth. And then Van Horn on the move, and throw gets out of the glove of Luna. Not sure they were going to get him, but stolen base for Gendry Torres, who does not look like a stealing candidate, to be quite honest. And you can see where he was probably going to get there. I don't know. That was going to be close, but the ball out of the glove, it's a stolen base. Two and two to Fetty Eater at the plate. JDT with a scoring opportunity here. And swing and a miss at the rise ball. There's that rise ball that we talked about. Eater down on strikes for the first out of the game for JDT. Aleo Munoz for JDT had a whale of an ISC World Tournament last year for the STK squad coming over to JDT. STK temporarily ceased operations, but they're back and glad of it. They were at the Bear Creek tournament 2 weekends ago. Saskatoon Jacks making the trip east from Saskatoon. Talked to a couple of boys yesterday prior to their game last night against Hill. And their flight out of Saskatoon was delayed, got in, basically turned into an overnight flight, and then they had to make their way down here to Simcoe, and they played Thursday in Jarvis. They played the Chiefs. This one is lifted up on the infield. Blake Hunter just into foul territory. We'll pull that down for the second out. They played the Chiefs on Thursday, and they also played Townsend Tide at the Jarvis Diamonds. And Jarvis will host the Ontario Challenge Cup event in September. So testing their systems. And I heard they had a great crowd. So that's good to hear, and we'll look forward to September action, some fall ball the last weekend in September. If you're in the area, the opportunity to drop by and see a dozen or more teams from Ontario vying to get into the 2027 ISC World Tournament. That'll be in Saskatoon, but we've got lots of action between now and then. Jeff Lyons at the dish. You're going to ask on the swing, and no, says Van Horn. Looks like he's going to be a busy guy down there this week, or this weekend. Jeff was 5 for 14 last weekend, 357, 8 RBIs. He had some key hits for JDT. They're going to ask if he went around trying to dance out of the way of that one, and no, again. That's already 3 appeals down to Van Horn. Goes after the rise ball, foul tip into the glove. Jeff's a teacher in the London area, and he would have wrapped up work on Friday afternoon, so he's got his summer now free for ball season. And that fouled right through the glove of Matroni back to the screen. Two and two, 2 out, runner at second, bottom of the first inning. Lions looking to give JDT an early lead here if they can against the Chiefs. This one is lifted out to right. Alan Pecker, 3 steps, make it 4 over to his right, and a fly ball to end the inning. Scoreless through 1, just underway here on day 2, Saturday morning. And it's a gorgeous one for ball at the 2026 Chiefs Challenge here on Softball Premier TV.
Dreamcatcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say as long as our people have a need, Dreamcatcher will be there for them.
Bruno Matroni to lead things off for the Hill United Chiefs. And boy, there's a view you don't want too often. It is a bright one here this morning. Everybody's got the sunglasses on. First pitch, Matroni. Fly ball, can of corn out there for Aleo Munoz for the first out of the inning. Bruno homered in his first at bat yesterday against the Saskatoon Jacks. Here's another guy who punched out a home run for the Chiefs. They brought the hitting shoes last night, a big 14-2 win over the Saskatoon Jacks. Good rise ball up and in from Juan Carlos Gonzalez, Dominican Republic national team member. Drop ball misses down low. Hunter hit an absolute screamer of a line drive out of here. It was gone in a heartbeat. Blake, a measly 424 average on the season, 14 for 33. That was his fourth home run. And goes after the rise ball, fouls that off the screen and ricochets all the way back into play. You get a good look at the signs from Gomez. And called strike three. Right over the outside corner. Third strikeout of the game, but already the second one looking for Gonzalez. And he's working that drop ball on the corners for strikes. 80.7 miles an hour. Some good zip to it as well. Edgar Pipolo Lopez. Three home runs and 9 RBIs for Edgar, batting .286. 9 for 33. You could make it 4 home runs as Lopez hits this one 1.5 miles. And a solo shot for Pipolo Lopez. He makes the trot around the bases. Boy, did he get into this one. Pulls it right down the right field line. He'll get the big Chiefs home run hat. The handshakes through the line. And he knew this one was gone from the moment it left the bat.
The right fielder, Alan Pecker.
Alan Pecker had a home run last night as well. Left center, and most of Alan's home runs tend to be right center to right. He typically is a pull hitter, but hit it out of here. He's so strong up there, and hit it out to left center last night. Change up there from Gonzalez has Pecker out in front for strike one. Line shot, that's a fair ball as it gets past Laskowski at third. Pecker will trot up to second with the double. Just stuck the bat out and let the ball do the work. So some 2-out magic here for the Chiefs in the top of the second inning. Home run by Lopez followed by a double by Pecker, and that'll bring up Nick White. White 14 for 30, 467. He's got the highest average on the Chiefs season so far. Just one home run, 13 singles. And Laskowski probably too deep for Nick White right now. Swinging through, but this guy can drop the ball down. If it hits the ground twice, you will not get him at first base. Tremendous speed out of the box. And there it is. There's the bunt, and way too deep. Talked about it. Laskowski did not take the bunt away. White spots it, and easy infield single, and move up Pecker to third. So runners on the corners.
Second baseman,
Khalil Luna to the dish. Luna 333 on the season, 9 for 27. Right back up the middle. White is going to go first to third, never hesitated coming around the bag, and a first pitch RBI single for Khalil Luna. The bottom of the order coming through here for the Chiefs to push across another run. Back to the top of the shop for Shane Boland. Shane has been struggling this year. Uncharacteristic slow start to the season for Shane. Nobody was happier than Shane Boland to lead off the game with a home run last night. Followed that up with a solid single. The Chiefs were banging the ball last night. Shane 2 for 3 with a walk. Scored a couple of runs. And an opportunity here for the Chiefs to really break this one open. In for a strike with the changeup from Gonzalez. In the feet of Boland, and up to second base goes Khalil Luna. Good block by Gomez behind the plate to keep White at third base, but now 2 runners in scoring position for Shane Boland. Gonzalez steps off, and Gomez will make his way out. They'll want to change the signs with the runner on second base, and this is a permitted defensive conference. Mike Morrissey out just to make sure that there's nothing else being discussed. Chopper on the infield, and across to first from Ion. And Hill United will have to be content with 2, but they do get on the board. A big solo home run from Pipolo Lopez. Alan Pecker comes around on the RBI single by Khalil Luna. And the Chiefs, out to a 2-0 lead, will go to the home half. JDT coming back up.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon. Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club.
Guadalupe Ion, then Justin Laskowski and Jonathan Lynch for the JDT First Energy squad. Now trailing 2-0. Hill United with 2 runs in the top of the second. Ion. looks at a strike. This guy has got such a promising future in this game. He is a real skilled player, can hit for power, a wizard out at short. And this is a great pickup for JDT. A couple of years ago was with the Glowworm squad. And we're going to have a discussion on the merits of whether that pitch got the outside corner or not. A long look at it by Mike Morrissey. Bruno Matroni works hard on all of the umpires. That one's off the corner, no doubt about that one. Mike Morrissey has done all kinds of World Cups, Pan Am Games events, one of the top umpires on the circuit. He was behind the plate at the ISC World Tournament Championship game last year. This one fouled back to the screen. In fact, if you can get your hands on a copy of the guide, they're now available, the ISC World Tournament Guide. Mike appears on the cover. Tony Gonzalez, Marco Diaz, the reigning MVP, is Ty Sebastian. They're all on the cover as well. Called strike three, the outside corner there. And Bruno Matroni maybe set that pitch up about 3 pitches before. Always thinking ahead. Laskowski was on a recent episode of Outside the Chute that I really enjoyed listening to. Justin, some great stories. Talked about meeting his now wife down in Denmark, Wisconsin. Played 4 years, I think, with the Circle Tap Dukes. With JDT here, the last couple. From Saskatoon, has spent time on the national team. In for a strike, and want to wish our good friends out east in Nova Scotia, Randy Frame, Chris Hopewell, and others, best of luck at the Graham Eisner tournament this weekend. That one is going on in, I believe it's Lance, Nova Scotia, upstairs from Diaz. Just one of many tournaments on the go across North America here as we're on the road to the 2026 ISC World Tournament. There is a qualifier event out in Prince George, British Columbia, the John Cho Cup. There's the Larry Coburg Memorial Tournament. That is in Walcott, Iowa. Of course, Chiefs Challenge here. There's a number of Ontario events going on this weekend. U23 Masters Provincial Championships. There's a U17 event out in Napanee. There's fastball all around this continent. You got to look a little hard for it sometimes, but the game is still there on the men's side. Laskowski reaches out and pokes this one, and a diving attempt by White just off the end of the glove. And Laskowski aboard with a base hit, first of the morning for JDT. Real good attempt here by White, but just off the end of the glove. Boy, he covers a lot of ground. I thought that was just going to fall in easy, and White makes a valiant effort. Jonathan Lynch to the dish for JDT. Lynch batted .333 last weekend, 4 for 12. Matroni snap throw down to first, little high, but Laskowski is back safely. Matroni, over the course of his career, has successfully been picking off runners left, right, and the center, or first, second, and third, maybe. That's probably more apt. Up in the air, but that's going to get out of play. First time I saw Bruno, 2008 at the Moncton tournament. That was one of the big ones back then. And Bruno then with the Midwest Stampede, a snap throw down to second base and picked off an unsuspecting base runner. Believe that's still on YouTube. You can find that out there. High hopper up over the head of Blake Hunter. Laskowski is going to make it all the way to third and up to second. Jonathan Lynch with a high hopper double. Boy, there is playing the grounds, and Lions Park, it's one of the traditional stone dust diamonds. We see a lot of these here across Ontario, and it's a hard surface. And Jonathan Lynch beating that one into the ground, and Blake Hunter went up in the air to get it, but he would have needed a step ladder. So JDT threatening here, bottom of the second inning. They gave up 2 in the top. And Braden Descharme, one of the top young American players from Minnesota, just off the outside corner, or at least has played in Minnesota the last few years with Ostrander, came up to JDT last year. The Ostrander Norseman, Brett Legler, good friend Brett Legler, manager of that team. They're concentrating on the boys' game now. And trying to work that outside corner and falling behind to Braden Descharme. Just the one down in the inning. Ion struck out, and then Laskowski and Lynch back-to-back base hits. Strike on the inside corner. Evens things at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fernando Gomez awaits on deck. 9 batter in the order for JDT. Just off the outside corner. Matroni holds it there for an extra second. I've yet to see an umpire change his mind after the umpire or after the catcher has held it out there. Swing and a miss here. Drop ball on the outside corner gets Braden Descharme for second strikeout of the inning. Third of the game for Marco Diaz, and that'll get us to the 9 batter, Fernando Gomez. Gomez, the catcher for JDT. That one is in for a strike. Fernando did not get a hit last week. Limited plate appearances for JDT. Fouls this one up. Going to take a look at it down the right side, but that's going to get out of play. Just in behind some fans who are snug right up to the fence beside the Chiefs dugout. And a few folks who have got their morning coffee and made their way over to the ballpark. One of them is Daryl Smart, my good friend Daryl Smart, immediately off to my left here, who's on double duty photographer duty here this weekend for the Chiefs. Does a lot of lacrosse stuff for the local club as well as the league. You can see his stuff on Daryl Smart Media on Facebook, is that right? Yep. Daryl Smart Media, getting the thumbs up. Take a look. Some great photography, and you'll see some of the Chiefs stuff there from this weekend. Ball in the outside corner to Gomez. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Marco Diaz trying to work out of this jam here in the bottom of the second inning. JDT Lynch is out at second. That's fouled off at the plate. Laskowski is down at third. And a rise ball, and Gomez reaches up. He'll foul that one straight back.
I did have it, I forgot.
Good battle here between Fernando Gomez and Marco Diaz. Just low and off the outside corner. A good take by Gomez. Some courage to take that pitch with 2 strikes. Make it 2-2. Deuces are wild here. Bottom of the second inning. 2 out, 2 on. And a little slow roller, Hunter, across the infield, and that will put paid to that here in the bottom of the second inning. JDT will strand 2, and through 2 complete, Hill United is up by a pair on Softball Premier TV.
Cause the kind of wins all around the clock. Never doubt me, boy, I don't stop. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Cause the kind of wins all around the clock. Never doubt me, boy, I don't stop. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change.
Bradley Ezekiel will lead things off for the Hill United Chiefs here in the top of the third inning. Last weekend's hero for the Chiefs. Top of the 8th inning. 3-run home run. Just like he does it all the time, Bradley Ezekiel. You go back to the World Tournament the last decade and a half. Here's a little bar trivia question for you. Who's got the most home runs since 2012 in the ISC World Tournament? Well, it's the guy at the plate, Bradley Ezekiel. 25. All of those for the Hill United Chiefs. This one out to left, and on the run up against the fence. Ezekiel's going to have to dig for 2, and he makes it standing up. A little bit of humor out there as Brad was a step away from the base and just took his time getting to it. A leadoff double for Bradley Ezekiel.
The left fielder, Bruce.
Quentin Bruce. Quentin got caught looking on an outside drop back in the first. Quentin got married a couple of weeks ago. Swings over the top of that one. He was in the, well, his bride-to-be was in the final stages of the planning as the Chiefs were making their way out to the Kelowna tournament. That one is punched out to left. Munoz makes the grab and a strong throw into third. Brad Ezekiel just a couple of steps off the bag and not going to test the arm of Aleo Munoz there. Bruno Matroni. That one skips in, and real quickly was Gomez to get that off the screen, and Ezekiel wisely stayed at second base. In tight to Bruno Matroni. That one in for a strike. Bruno, second on the team in RBIs, just behind Tony Gonzalez. Bruno has 17. Doesn't chase the rise ball upstairs. Three and one, the count. And ball four, that one down and in to Matroni. So first walk given up by Gonzalez. Blake Hunter to the plate. .424 for Blake, 14 for 33. And that one again right into the feet of Fernando Gomez, doing a good job to block it, keep it in front of him, and hold these two guys at first and second for now. Rise ball upstairs. You can't get Hunter to chase. And a strike to the inside corner. Two and one. Infield pretty much at regular depth. Not much of a breeze here this morning. That's a little bit, but nothing significant. That'll be just enough for the players to keep things nice and fresh out on the field. You get a look at the sky there momentarily. It's a gorgeous day here in Simcoe. And that one just a little bit further inside to Hunter. Blake got caught looking in the second. Little chance for redemption here in the third. They want to ask, but not getting the appeal. And we'll load the bases on back-to-back walks following the double by Brad Ezekiel. And this is not the way this inning was going to go in the mind of Jan Carlos Gonzalez. Edgar Pipolo Lopez sent one on a moonshot out of here back in the second inning. And an opportunity for Hill United now to break things wide open. Jamie Simpson, the skipper for JDT, is out in the circle having a little community meeting. Second time through the order for the Chiefs, and they're a little bit tougher here getting their second looks at Gonzalez. This JDT team has been really scrappy here this season. Talked about them making the finals in the Bear Creek Classic. Top 4 finish at the Canada East qualifier last week. And had a real good opportunity to advance, but just couldn't hold this hard-hitting Hill United lineup down long enough. In for a strike. Big moment here early in this one. Lopez, Gonzalez, fouled straight back to the screen. Had a good cut at it. Lopez has got a real long swing through the zone. The bat is in the hitting zone a long time. He's got a real smooth swing. He's got an undercut to it. When he gets into it, it goes. There's the changeup upstairs. Can't get the drop ball. Down on strikes goes Pipolo Lopez. Good pitch from Gonzalez to get the second out of the inning. And now we'll go after Alan Pecker to try and work out of this bases loaded jam. 80-mile-an-hour drop ball in the outside corner. Boy, that's tough, especially when it's just 10 o'clock in the morning. Falls behind. Pecker hit one hard down the line, the third base line. Doubled and scored in the second. And there's an inside rise ball. Had a little hook on it as well, and Pecker swings over that. Gonzalez sets. Chopper on the infield. That just goes foul as it gets to Jeff Lyons. Bit of a break there for Alan Pecker as that ball just crossed the line. Pecker now tied for the lead on the team with 6 home runs. This one is out of play behind us. Hit one out to left center last night. 8 RBIs on the season for Allen. And swings over the top and does favor for young Gonzalez. gets out of that bases-loaded jam. The Chiefs strand 3 here in the third, but they're still up 2-0. We'll go to the home half. JDT, maybe with some momentum, coming back up to the plate. All right, Bruno Matroni is back behind the plate for the Hill United Chiefs, and Gendry Torres will step in here. Back to the top of the shot for JDT, bottom of the third inning. By request, we went and checked on the score for the Saskatoon Jacks and the Oswegan Redmen game. It is 1-0 for Saskatoon in that one. I did not catch the inning, but they started a little bit before us, so they may be an inning ahead, maybe the fourth inning. But Jacks up 1-0. And good morning. It's early in the morning out in Saskatoon to Brooks Penrod. Off the outside corner, still working hard on that corner is Bruno Matroni and Marco Diaz. They're working that with Mike Morrissey to see if they can get him to come around. Cuts at this one, does Torres. Walked, stole second in the first, and that was as far as he got. Bends the rise ball upstairs, but well up and out of the zone. White tracking across over into left center and makes the grab. Calling it all the way in front of Quentin Bruce. Bring us down to Fetty Eater.
The right fielder, Freddie Eder.
That one misses downstairs. And there's a strike on the outside corner. So the Jacks up 1-0 on the Redmen. Nick Patrick was starting for Saskatoon. Dustin Veenhoff for the Redmen. The other game underway right now. The Northeast Drillers and the Midland Explorers, a pair of U.S. teams. That one clips Fetty Eater on the elbow, and he's going to make his way down to first. Marco Diaz is kind of laughing at Fetty Eater. And they're laughingly exchanging some words in Spanish. I think that just grazed Eater, and Marco, I think, is giving him the gears for that's the lightest you'll ever be hit by a pitch. I don't know that I would ever want to get hit by a pitch, even if it was just grazed by Marco Diaz. He throws way too hard. Strike on that corner to Aleo Munoz. Choco, as he is nicknamed, talked about how stellar a World Tournament he had last year, 15 RBIs. Off the glove of Diaz, deflects it, Boland, cross, but not in time to get Munoz. Diaz is probably the best fielding pitcher in the game. He's big, tall, plays the pitching position like an infielder, and normally quite sure-handed, but this one, you can see it there, up off the glove, and Boland has to wait for it to come down, barehands it, and still just misses getting Aleo Munoz an infield hit. Jeff Lyons. That misses just off the outside corner. So the Drillers and Explorers, we were talking about that. Matias Echeverres for Northeast Drillers. Carson Martin for Midland Explorers. They're the ISC 2 champions from last year, but they had some lineup turnover. Misses downstairs. Valen Mata, who went most of the way in the ISC 2 championship game last year, made the all-tournament team. He pitched last night for Midland. Midland falling 5-0 to the Bear Creek Express yesterday evening. Ty Sebastian the winner in that one. Couple of big scores last night. Chiefs 14-2 over Saskatoon. Outside, ball 4, and bases loaded here for JDT. Marco Diaz, not quite as crisp this morning as he typically is. Here's Jeff Ellsworth out for a quick visit. Guadalupe Ayon to the dish. Mike Morrissey taking the long, meandering route out to break up the Hill United Chiefs conference. And very quickly up in the bullpen all of a sudden is Justin Schofield. Schofield started last night, went 2 innings. Colin Walsh came on and worked the 3rd and the 4th for Hill United. That was just a 4-inning game on the 12-run differential. But JDT, big opportunity here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Little high drop curve from Diaz misses off the plate. And a foul ball, and that catches a bite out of Bruno Matroni. He will adjust some of the protective equipment and have a bit of a laugh there with Guadalupe Ayon. Bottom of the 3rd here, this started with a fly ball to center field by Gendry Torres. And a hit by pitch, infield single on a walk. Bases loaded, and Yes, he did go around, says Mike Morrissey. Guadalupe Ion down on strikes, caught looking, leading off the second inning. A big opportunity here. 1-2 the count. And that chop foul stays alive. Diaz on the board. And pours in a drop ball. Blows it past at 85. Marco Diaz topping out there. That's one of his best pitches of the game. That drop falls off the table at the plate. And with that kind of velocity, that's tough. Marco is the hardest thrower in the game today. There's several guys that are getting over 80, but Marco's the only one consistently that'll get it to 85, 86 on that one. We've seen him gust up into the high 80s at times. Still relatively early in the season, even though Marco throws virtually year-round in Mexico and elsewhere. Chopper in the infield. Boland shovels to second for the short way. And the Chiefs work their way out of that bases-loaded jam here in the bottom of the third with that 2-0 lead intact. We'll go to the top of the fourth. Here at the Chiefs Challenge on Softball Premier TV. First of many here today on a beautiful Saturday for fastball. Well, these two teams have taken turns leaving the bases loaded the last two half innings. Both of them have wriggled out of those jams. Just did a score check. It's 5-1 for the Northeast Drillers in the fourth, leading on the Midland Explorers. That one you can follow on Game Changer as well. The Drillers are on Game Changer. Several of the teams here, including the Bear Creek Gremlins, the Chiefs, Drillers, others, using Game Changer. You can follow along live. If you're going to subscribe, you can get access to stats and other things. Used Game Changer last week in Mitchell at the Canadies qualifier, and you'll be able to follow the ISC World Tournament on Game Changer as well. Ball 4 missing inside to Nick White. Look for him to be on the move within the first 2 or 3 pitches. Jeff Ellsworth usually doesn't waste much time putting Nick White in motion. First pitch on the move, throw down just on the left side of the bag, and White in safely with another stolen base. Luna swings underneath that rise ball. Squares, and White easily swipes third. Laskowski had broke in for the bunt. Ion went to second, and Nick White says, okay, I'll help myself to third. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication there on the JDT infield. Inside rise ball fouled off by Luna. So pair of stolen bases for Nick White. Gets him all the way over to third, and plenty of opportunity now to score and increase the Chiefs' lead to 3. Luna had a terrific U23 World Cup for Argentina. They did not make the super round. They had one bad inning against the Czech Republic, and this one is laced right back up the middle. Nick White will score easily on that. Luna is 2 for 2 now. Another RBI, pair of them in the game for the 9-batter for the Chiefs. But Luna, for Argentina, led the tournament in home runs and RBIs. Argentina ran the table in the placement round. They finished 7th overall, but that loss to Czechia early in the tournament was enough to knock them out of contention for the super round. That'll be it for Jan Carlos Gonzalez as Jamie Simpson will take the ball, and he's going to hand it over to Pammy Madzalukwa. We will take a break, and we'll be back here with a new pitcher for JDT. Pammy Madzalukwa finishes the last of his warm-up tosses, and he will face the top of the Chiefs order, Shane Boland. Pair of groundouts today for Shane, but different ball game now with a couple of runners in scoring position. Score update for you. It's now 1-1 tied. Oswegan Redmond and Saskatoon Jacks. They're in the 7th. The top of the 7th. Saskatoon is at the dish. That game moving well along. 7th inning already. On the move, throw down and sliding to the outside of the base and in. And now a pair of runners, or at least one runner. Yes, because White has already scored, hasn't he? So Khalil Luna up to second. Shane Boland now with a runner in scoring position. And in tight to Boland showing bunt. Jeff Ellsworth will play the small ball game a little bit more often than some of his predecessors have done over the years. Jeff likes to have pressure on the defense. Boland chops that one foul. The pitch was coming upstairs on Shane and pulls it way foul. See, and this is where we need to improve on not waiting around for balls to come back into the game. This, in my mind, needs to be a ball on the batter for the defensive delay in the game. I might be in the minority of that one, but these games are already taking far too long to play, 2+ hours, and that's one of the reasons. A bleeder on the infield. Boland hustling hard down the line, but Ducharme throws out Shane Boland, his third ground out of the game. Just about got the whole infield covered.
Batting the designated player, Brad Ezekiel.
Brad Ezekiel doubled in the third. Goes after the first pitch and chops it foul. So Luna now at third base after the ground out by Boland. Nick White walked, stole second, stole third, came home on the base hit by Luna. Luna stole second. And that's the pressure. I talked about it earlier. That's the pressure that Jeff Ellsworth likes to apply. Keep the runners in motion, make the defense make plays, put pressure on them. He's got plenty of speed up and down this lineup. Upstairs from Mazzaluqua. And plenty of power up and down this lineup as well. Everybody can hit the ball out of the park. 1-2 to Ezekiel. Inside rise ball, and a look at this one down the left side, but out of play. Dallas Cornelius came on to catch with Hammy Mazzaluqua as well, so put Dallas into Fernando Gomez's spot in the 9-hole in the order. They're on PitchCom and couple of shakes, and now Mazzaluqua and Jamie Simpson are going to come out, and Mike Morrissey, I think, is going to talk to the coaching staff and talk about the delay here, is my guess. Just guessing, because that's why he might have called Jamie Simpson up. There's no official pitch clock here, or is there in ISC play, but unnecessarily long delays can result in a ball being called. I'm not sure if he did that. Ezekiel reaches out, pokes this one out to left and ranging across, but that'll be a sac fly RBI as Luna comes in to score easily. Munoz went across to track that down, but watch Bradley go way down to go get that pitch. Munoz makes the grab, but you were never going to get Khalil Luna on that one. So Quentin Bruce, now with the bases empty. The Chiefs manufacture a run with that stolen base and then a sac fly RBI. Over the top. Here's a good look at Quentin Bruce. 1 ball, 1 strike. Drops this one down, and easy out there for Manzalukwa. But Hill United push across another 2 here in the top of the 4th. They double the lead to 4-0 over the JDT First Energy squad. Team of Blue coming back up. We'll go to the home half of the 4th. Jonathan Lynch will lead things off for JDT. And half-hearted swing at a drop on the outside corner. Lynch doubled, but did not get any further in the second. And it took something off that one a little further outside. No chance for Jonathan Lynch, way out in front on that one. Jonathan's got that unique batting stance, real closed, front foot pointing inwards. But then he explodes onto it. Shane Boland out onto the grass and behind third, and he'll reel that one in for the first out of the inning. Went a long way to go get it. But Shane, as good as any, going to get those ones. Braden Ducharme to the plate, down on strikes in the second. just fouled down the left side. Keeping you up to date on scores, 1-1 into the bottom of the 7th inning. Oswegan Redmond, an opportunity to walk one off against the Saskatoon Jacks. Northeast Drillers are up 5-1 on the Midland Explorers. Punched out to left center. And that gets out of here. Braden Ducharme with a home run for JDT. Good punch from Ducharme to left center field. And he'll get down the handshake line. Goes the opposite way with it. And a good swing and just gets it out of here. 4-1 now for the Chiefs. Dallas Cornelius, who came on to catch with the pitching change. So he's in the 9 spot, replacing Fernando Gomez. And good morning, good afternoon, good night. Marco Diaz roars right back after giving up the home run. 3 straight strikes to Dallas Cornelius. Gets him looking. And with 2 down, we'll go back to the top of the shop for the designated player, Gendry Torres. Gendry, a walk, stole second back in the first, and then flew out to Nick White in center left. That was back in the third. Just the 5th strikeout of the game for Marco Diaz. He typically will average 2 an inning. Just misses upstairs with the changeup. Northeast Drillers now up 11-1 on the Midland Explorers. That one poured in for a strike. Good take there by Torres to even the count. Matroni way outside on the setup. High hopper on the infield. Luna comes to get it and flips to first for the final out of the inning. But JDT get on the board courtesy of a solo home run by Braden Ducharme. And it's 4-1 for Hill United through 4 complete here at the 2026 Chiefs Challenge. Well, as we go to the fifth inning here with the Hill United Chiefs up 4-1 over the JDT First Energy squad, I'll let you know that Saskatoon and Oswegan are off to extra innings. That one's 1-1, and they're going to the eighth. Keep an eye on that one for you. Conscripted one of the regulars here to come let me know should anything happen. Bruno Matroni facing Pammy Madzalukwa for first time. Pammy on in relief of Juan Carlos Gonzalez. Those final 2 runs that came in charged to Gonzalez. Low strike at the bottom of the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Matroni. Bruno walked in the third and can't catch up to this one. A real good drop ball, the outside corner from Pammy Madzalukwa. Watch this one here. Looked like it had a little tail to it as well. First strikeout in the morning for Pammy. Blake Hunter down on strikes in the second and then walked in the third. Chiefs would leave the bases loaded in the third.
The third baseman, Blake Hunter.
And that one is up and in. So 2-0 to Hunter. And that one will miss downstairs. 3-0 falling behind the 5 batter in the order for Hill United. Make it 3-1. Pammy 11 2/3 innings pitched last weekend. Finished with a 2-1 record. A 3 even ERA, 26 strikeouts. Just the 11 innings pitched, so high strikeout rate. And he gets Blake Hunter swinging here. That's 2 now. That outside pitch. Bruno and Blake. Killer Bees? 1980s wrestling? 1990s? Chris Abbott would know that reference. Bear Creek Gremlins coming up next. This one is a little fly ball into the glove of Justin Laskowski. Lopez. 3 up, 3 down inning for Pammy Madzalukwa and JDT here in the top of the 5th. We'll go to the home half deficit. We'll catch you up on what's coming up next as well.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon. Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country.
Fetty Eater, Aleo Munoz, Jeff Lyons, 2-3-4 for JDT in the batting order. Time like the present to try to get to Marco Diaz if you're a JDT fan. Fetty grazed by a pitch in the third. Got as far as third, and that's where JDT left the bases loaded. Tries a bunt attempt. And that is slash foul down the left side. It'll ricochet off the fence and out to Quentin Bruce and left. Little action in the Chiefs bullpen. That is Justin Schofield. The pattern for the Chiefs this year has been get a starter to go 4, maybe 5, and then come with the closer, regardless of who that may be. Diaz, Schofield, and Tyler Randerson, the notional staff for the Chiefs for ISC. They've added Colin Walsh for this weekend. Walsh 2 innings in relief yesterday. Eder can't get that one, and he's down on strikes. 6th of the game for Marco Diaz. So coming up, Bear Creek Gremlins, and it'll be Cody Gibbons as they face the Townsend Tide, and Alex Baileron for the Tide. Now, he was with Alex, I'm speaking of, Alex Baileron. He was with St. Thomas Elgins last week at the Kennedy's qualifier and a pickup for Townsend. He threw a couple of really good games for St. Thomas. They knocked out the Toronto Batmen U23. I want to qualify that. Toronto Batmen U23. Munoz fouls. That's straight back to the screen. That U23 Batmen team, a lot of members of the Team Canada U23 squad. They're the reigning U23 Canadian champions. They're going to play ISC as well. Outside pitch, and Munoz fouls that off down the left side. That U23 Toronto Batman team, they're in action this weekend in Tavistock, the Ontario U23 Eliminations Tournament to set things up for the Canadian Championship. That'll be in Saskatoon the week leading up to the Labor Day weekend. Canadian men's and the U23 Championship, one leading into the other. Inside to Munoz. Well, they look like they may have gone to further into extra innings. Looking behind me at the Saskatoon and Oswego game. Saskatoon currently at the plate. Called strike 3. Munoz looks at a third one go by. So back-to-back strikeouts opening up the 5th for Marco Diaz. Jeff Lyons. Fly ball to Pecker in right in the first, and then walked and erased at second on a force to end the inning in the third. JDT left the bases loaded in the third. Chiefs did the same thing in the top of the third, so lots of base runners then, not so many right now. That one in for a strike on the inside corner. Jeff Lyons, one of the ISC player reps here in ISC Canada East. AJ Moses is the other. Both of these guys active in player rep discussions. They're the player's voice with the ISC. Off the plate outside, Justin Schofield is an Atlantic Canada rep. One ball, two strikes to Jeff Lyons. JDT looking for a base runner here in the fifth. High hopper. Barehanded again and can't dig it out at first. Blake Hunter. He's upset with himself that the throw was down in the dirt, but and I've tried to make that play, was never anywhere near as good as Blake Hunter is, but that's a tough play to make on the bare hand. You're stuck with whatever grip that you get when you catch the ball, and if you don't have a great grip, that's what can happen. Throw down in the dirt. Hunter, who expects perfection out of himself, just tiny off the mark there. Lopez couldn't dig it out, and aboard on a base hit is Lyons. In for a strike here to Guadalupe Ayan. Strikeout looking, strikeout swinging for Ayan. He'll look to change the channel here a little bit. Third look at Marco Diaz. In tight. First got a look at Ayan a couple of years ago out in Softball City with the Glowworms squad that year. He hit a ball, had to be over 300 feet. Up there for amongst longest home runs of the tournament. That was at Softball City back in 2024. And there were some home runs launched at that park that I am sure they hadn't seen balls hit that far before. That's going to get over the head of Lopez. It's going to squirt out to right. Pecker will come up and take a look at third, but Lyons is over there securely. And a infield single for, well, I guess it got to the outfield, but barely off the dirt. Guadalupe Ayan, you can see it there just over the head, and couldn't track it down was Khalil Luna either. And that'll draw a mound visit here from the skipper, Jeff Ellsworth. Back-to-back singles. So Justin Laskowski with a pair of runners aboard here for JDT in the bottom of the fifth inning, and goes after that first pitch, fouls that one out of play. JDT have trailed all the way in this one. Chiefs with 2 in the second and 2 more in the fourth. Upstairs, even the count at 1-1. It's foul down the left side. 1-2 now on Laskowski. Schofield throwing with some more urgency down the right field line. Potentially the last batter here for Marco Diaz. Fouled again, out of play. Keep the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jeff Lyons is out at third base. Guadalupe Ion is at first. Bruno Matroni gets a ball that he thinks that Marco Diaz is going to like. One and two. Justin Laskowski trying to draw JDT a little bit closer. Just misses inside. Well, they asked, but I didn't even think he flinched at the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 out, 2 aboard for JDT. Bottom of the 5th inning. Poked out to left field. And here's 1 run in and a good at bat and an RBI single for Justin Laskowski. Just reached out and poked that over the head of Shane Boland. See it here on the replay. He goes to get this and just knocks it out onto the grass. Jonathan Lynch will come up, and another runner in scoring position is Ion is up to second base, and he's got good wheels. Laskowski will give way to a pinch runner, and that is Alex Gonzalez. Was with the Chiefs last year on the World Tournament roster as a pinch runner. Younger brother for Tony Gonzalez. Luciano, is that correct? No? No relation to Tony? Okay. I thought somebody had said that to me last year, but no relation to Tony Gonzalez. Gets a firm welcome there. 2-1 Redmond in the 8th inning. In the 9th inning. Thanks to Kenny Rule for that one. So Saskatoon on the short end last night, and then here they go to extra innings against the Oswegan Redmen, but come up short again to the Jacks. Lynch doubled in the second and then popped out to short in the 4th. Little slow roller out to Luna. Momentary bobble, but he will flip to first. And they give up 1, but JDT strands 2. They get a little closer. We'll go to the top of the 6th. Now Chiefs 4 and JDT 2. So we are the only game that is live here at the moment. Northeast Drillers 11-1 final over the Midland Explorers. And then we just heard Oswegan Redmond 2-1 winners in 9 over the Saskatoon Jacks. 4-2 here. The Chiefs leading on JDT. Alan Pecker at the plate facing Pammy Mazalukwa, who's on in relief. Going around on the bunt attempt was Pecker. Coming up, Bear Creek Gremlins, Townsend Tide. Scheduled 11:15 start. Don't know that we're going to make that. One hopper past Jeff Lyons, and Alan Pecker pounds out another base hit. So Nick White, we'll keep an eye on Pecker. He is a dual threat out there with the speed that he's got. Pecker and first base coach John Hill both looking over to Ellsworth on the signs. Here's a little Texas leaguer out into the left. Pecker never breaks stride, goes all the way from first to third. And Nick White aboard on the hit and run with just a little dying quail out there into short left. Back-to-back base hits for the Chiefs. Khalil Luna already with a pair of RBIs, 2 for 2 on the day. Well, a little razzle-dazzle again here as Pecker broke off the bag. Cornelius bluffed the throw to second, and you may have heard Jeff Ellsworth back. Getting Pecker back to the bag. So 2 runners in scoring position. The 2 fastest guys in the game, maybe. Downstairs to Khalil Luna. Now 1 ball, 1 strike, or do we got 2-0? Conflicting reports. We've got 2-0 on the screen. I'm going to go with that. That one's in for a strike. Little curve on the outside corner. Down low. Two and two, the count. And a chopper on the infield. They're going to come home. The throw's in and out of the glove of Cornelius. Don't know that they were going to get him. That's a strong throw home by Ion. But you got just about the fastest guy in the game. And no, he is going to make it there. It was in and out of the glove regardless. Valiant attempt by Ion. I don't think he was going to get Luna at first either, as he had to go into the hole. I'm surprised he actually got as much on it as he did to make it close at the plate. White up to third on the play, and aboard on the fielder's choice is Luna. And watch for him to be off on one of the next 2 pitches. On the move was Luna, and fouling this one off on the hit and run is Shane Boland. So we'll get everybody reset. across to first. Ian had a look, but Nick White just too fast. He was off with the crack of the bat. Ground out RBI for Shane Boland. Up to second was Luna. Chiefs, another 2-run inning and counting. This one is fouled off and make that 6-2 lead here for Hill United. A swing and a miss by Brad Ezekiel. That's that. Might even be a little low rise, but it's definitely a curve action here. You take a look here on the replay. Yeah, it's a little rise, but it's got a curve on it. It's tailing away from the righties, and it's Brad Ezekiel to chase. Quentin Bruce. And there's a rise ball, undoubtedly, from Manzalukwa. Gets Quentin Bruce swinging. Quentin looking to get on track in this one. Hasn't reached base. Caught looking, a fly out and a ground out. And they're way down on the count now, 0-2. We'll get Pammy back to the board. Bruce in the box. Straight back to the screen. Foul. Just off the outside corner. Chiefs with 2 runs in the second, 2 in the fourth, and 2 here in the sixth to get them out to 6-2. JDT solo runs in the fourth and the fifth. They've had their looks at Marco Diaz, but for the most part, he's had the answer. Justin Schofield is back on the bench. There's a line shot off the bat of Bruce. And coming around to score is Khalil Luna. I don't know if Bruce is too happy that all he got was a single. I've never seen a guy that upset about collecting an RBI single before. Slammed the bat into the ground and threw the protective equipment at the fence. Maybe he thought he should have hit that one out. Don't know. But in any event, it scores another run for the Chiefs and will make it 7-2. Talk to Quentin a little bit later, find out what drew his ire on that one. I'm suspecting he felt he should have done a little bit more with that one. Either that or maybe he's just happy he's off the schneid here in this one. Bruno swings and misses at one down in the dirt. Looks skyward. Bruce had been the only guy that had yet to reach base for the Chiefs in that one, so maybe that was it. Hami Mazalukwa from Botswana has been up here every summer for at least the last 4 or 5 years. I believe he was up here even pre-COVID. This one laced way foul down the left side by Matroni. Played a couple of years with the Alvinston Aces, with the Chippewa Chiefs 1 year, and the last couple with JDT. The thing with Pammy, he has gotten better every single year. Here's a low rise that's popped up. Munoz settles under that for the third out of the inning, but 3 for the Chiefs here in the top of the 6th. Will go to the bottom. JDT now trailing by 5.
Catcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say as long as our people have a need, Dreamcatcher will be there for them.
Well, we were discussing all of the Ontario geographic regions here, Burford and Grand Valley and other points, east, west, north, and south. Joe Todd is here. He knows where everything is. Braden Ducharme homered in the 4th for the first JDT run. Marco Diaz back out here in the 6th. So Schofield pitched half a game warming up. And we'll see how long Diaz continues to go, and maybe he gets the ball the whole game here against JDT. Chiefs were number 1 in the preseason rankings. JDT number 5, rather. Make that. It was Chiefs, Gremlins, Express, then the Drillers, then JDT, and Toronto in the 6th spot. And those teams are just in a caravan here across Ontario. They started down in Melbourne 2 weekends ago, last weekend in Mitchell, here in Simcoe this weekend. Next weekend, everybody will make the trek to Kitchener. Then a week off, and then into Tavistock. Charm swings at that outside rise ball, can't catch up to it. He's down on strikes here, leading off the 6th. That's 8 now on the game for Marco Diaz. Strike on the outside corner. Dallas Cornelius, his 2nd plate appearance. Fernando Gomez started behind the plate. Jan Carlos Gonzalez, the starting pitcher for JDT, and that one fouled off at the plate by Cornelius. Got a little bit of bite of Bruno Matroni. Sun and cloud here. You can feel the effect of the sun, and you see the field is just bathed in sunlight right now, but there are a lot of white puffy clouds circling around. Just a gorgeous forecast and a beautiful weekend for ball here, Simcoe, Ontario. Down near the shores, not quite on, but down near the shores of Lake Erie. Swing and a miss, and Cornelius will get tagged out by Matroni to complete the strikeout. Gendry Torres back to the top of the shop. Walked in the first, a fly ball and a ground out since. 2 down here, Marco Diaz trying to have a clean inning. Hasn't had one today. Base runners every inning for JDT. JDT have stranded 8 runners through 5. That's fouled off out of play. Long look here for Diaz, and Matroni outside. Diaz gets it and flip to first. That's the inning. Boy, everybody just kind of took their time there like it was not the end of the inning, but now indeed it is. So a clean inning for Diaz and the Chiefs. And we will go to home half. Top of the 7th. We got here. 7th inning. Took a bit, but we made it. Luigi Biondi will pinch hit for Blake Hunter as we go to top of the 7th inning. Biondi, Edgar Lopez, and Alan Pecker batters for the Chiefs. At least we'll see if anybody emerges. No, Pecker's got the helmet on at the dugout door. Lopez on deck, and Biondi looks at a strike to even the count 1-1. Biondi had a home run last night in the big win over Saskatoon. Fouls that one off. And looks at strike 3 here. Luciano Biondi down for the first out of the inning. Fourth on the morning for Hammy Mazzaluqua. Below Lopez. A giant home run to get the Chiefs started earlier this morning. We got going at 9:12 this morning, so we're 2 hours, 10 minutes into this one. In for a strike. And can't reach out for that one. 1-2 on Lopez, one down here in the inning. Chiefs seemingly comfortably out in front. And in for strike three. Back-to-back backwards Ks for Mazzaluqua here in the seventh. And that'll bring up Alan Pecker, who's had a pretty interesting morning. A single, a double, 2 runs scored.
Right fielder, Alan Becker.
Joe Todd breaks out the cookies. In for a strike. Joe Todd will join us on the next couple of broadcasts. Look forward to having my partner back. Swing and a miss here by Packer. Good inside drop from Mazzaluqua. And reaches out, can't catch up with that one. 3 up, 3 down, 3 strikeouts for Pammy Mazzaluqua here in the top of the 7th. Last call for JDT in the home half. Needing 5 to tie here on Softball Premier TV.
Catcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say as long as our people have a need, Dreamcatcher will be there for them.
Eddie Eater to lead it off here for JDT. Hit by a pitch in the third. That's sandwiched around a couple of strikeouts. Diaz back here to try and close this off with a complete game win for Hill United. Up and in to Eater. After that hit by pitch, and it barely grazed him, I think. He and Diaz jokingly exchanged a couple of words as he made his way down to first base. That one is laced foul, and thankfully not too close to our new camera operator this weekend, Isabella. The daughter of Carol and Luciano is operating that third base camera this weekend. She's doing a bang-up job up there, too. She's on top of the third base dugout. Carol is over on first base. This one punched out to left field. Ranging back, Quentin Bruce will pull that one down near the fence, but not quite close enough for Teddy Eater. Leo Munoz now. 2-3-4 in the order for JDT. For Munoz, he singled, got as far as second in the third. Fly out and a strikeout. Nine strikeouts for Diaz so far. That one is punched out to left center. That's going to split the gap. And up to second goes Munoz. White and Bruce couldn't get to that one. So a little life here from JDT. 2 for 4 in the day for Munoz and Jeff Lyons. 1 for 2 with a walk. Jeff came around and scored second run of the game in the fifth for JDT. First pitch, and that's fouled out of play. Right on the outside corner. Diaz has done well out there today. And he gets Lyons to chase with the drop ball down and away for strike 2, or out 2 rather. And Guadalupe Ion will be the last chance here for the JDT squad. Strikeout looking, strikeout swinging, and then single for Ion in the fifth. Back-to-back singles with he and Lyons in the fifth, and then Laskowski managed to bring home Lyons with the second run of the game for JDT, but it's just not been enough for JDT here. Left a lot of base runners on. They've had their chances against Diaz and the Chiefs here. Left 8 and counting for JDT. .84 with that drop off the outside corner. Diaz hit 86 earlier in the game. Marco's always just been so fluid out there. Battles hard. You'd never know whether he's tired or not. High hopper. Diaz will come get it, turn, and throw to first. Make it look easy for the best fielding pitcher in the game. A complete game win for Marco Diaz. He gets 10 strikeouts on the morning, and Hill United Chiefs will record a 7-2 win over the number 5 ranked JDT First Energy squad. A good but lengthy one here this morning. Hill United run their record to 2-0 at the 2026 Chiefs Challenge. JDT dropped to 1-1. We'll look forward to coming up. Joe Todd is in the house. Bear Creek Gremlins, Townsend Tide. Make sure you come back with us for that one here on Softball Premier TV. Thanks for being with us this morning. Blair Setford. We'll see you on the flip side.